It was Christmas Eve, and the snow fell softly across the quiet city. The skyscrapers sparkled with light, but at the very top of one, where the biggest office belonged to one of the country's most powerful CEOs, the lights were dim, the room silent. Inside, Ethan Cole, 42, sat alone beside a half-finished glass of wine, staring at a single snow globe on his desk, the last gift his mother had given him before she died. Every Christmas for the past 10 years, he waited, for what, he didn't even know anymore. For forgiveness. For someone to walk through the door and remind him what warmth felt like. But that night, as the clock struck 11 and he rose to leave the empty office tower, a knock echoed across the marble hallway of his penthouse. A hesitant, almost trembling knock. When he opened the door, he saw a young woman, soaked from the snow, holding the hand of a little girl clutching a basket wrapped in red ribbon. "Sir, I'm sorry," the woman said, her voice shaking from the cold. "We didn't mean to bother you. We were told this address needed a Christmas delivery." That knock would change everything. Chapter 1, The Man Who Waited Alone. Ethan Cole was the man everyone in the business world feared and admired. Billionaire, investor, ruthless strategist, the kind of CEO who could buy companies before breakfast and destroy rivals before dinner. But behind his tailored suits and icy gaze was a man whose life had become hollow. His penthouse overlooked the entire city, a masterpiece of glass and silence. Every Christmas, his employees left early to be with their families. Every Christmas, Ethan stayed behind, claiming to finish reports. But truthfully, he didn't have anywhere else to go. 10 years ago, he'd lost the only two people who'd ever loved him, his parents, in a car accident. He had been too busy on a business trip to visit them that Christmas. They died driving through a snowstorm on their way to surprise him. Since then, guilt became his only companion. That's why, even now, when the world celebrated, Ethan only waited, maybe for fate to knock one last time. And that night, it did. The woman at his door looked about 30, with tired eyes and a brave smile that didn't quite hide the exhaustion behind it. Her coat was thin, her boots worn, and beside her stood a little girl, no older than 6, whose red scarf was too big for her small shoulders. "I'm sorry," Ethan said sharply at first, confused. "This is private property. Who sent you?" The woman blinked, startled. I'm sorry, sir. I work for the bakery down the street. Someone ordered a Christmas Eve care basket for this address." The name just said, Mr. E. Cole. Ethan frowned. He hadn't ordered anything, but curiosity made him step aside. "Come in. You look frozen." She hesitated, then entered slowly, pulling her daughter close. The warmth of the penthouse made the girl sigh with relief. Ethan knelt beside her to take her coat. "What's your name?" he asked softly. "I'm Lily," the girl said with a shy smile. "And this is my mom, Emma." Emma smiled politely. "We're sorry for the intrusion. There must have been some mistake." But when she opened the basket, Ethan froze. Inside, among cookies and hot cocoa packets, was a single snow globe, the exact kind his mother used to collect. Attached was a small note that read, "Greater than, for the man who's forgotten what Christmas feels like. You are not as alone as you think." His hands trembled. "Where did you get this?" he whispered. Emma looked puzzled. We just made the delivery list this afternoon. This was already in our stock." The note came with it. Ethan stared at the snow globe, his chest tightening. Something in him, something buried deep, began to stir. That night didn't end quickly. The storm outside grew stronger, and Emma's phone lost signal. The city's roads closed under the heavy snow. "You can't go back now," Ethan said quietly. "Stay here tonight. The guest room's warm." She tried to refuse, but one look at Lily, already falling asleep on the couch with a cookie in her hand, made her sigh in relief. As Emma tucked her daughter in, Ethan poured 2 cups of cocoa and sat across from her by the fire. The light danced between them, softening the edges of his face. "So," she said gently, "you really didn't order that basket?" He shook his head. "No. But maybe, I needed it." For the first time in years, Ethan smiled. It was small, unsure, but real. And for the first time in a decade, Christmas Eve didn't feel empty. Chapter 2, When Hope Knocked Twice. Morning came with golden light reflecting off the snow. Lily woke up first, giggling as she peeked out the window. Mom, it's so shiny. Ethan walked in wearing a sweater instead of a suit, something he hadn't done since his 20s. He handed her a mug of hot chocolate topped with marshmallows. Thank you, Mr. Cole, she chirped. Call me Ethan, he said with a warm smile. As Emma joined them, she noticed a change in him, the way his voice softened, how he looked out the window not with sorrow but with quiet peace. They spent the day baking, laughing, and sharing stories. Ethan learned that Emma had lost her husband 2 years ago and was raising Lily alone while working double shifts to make ends meet. The bakery she worked for was struggling, and she feared it might close after the holidays. That night, after Emma and Lily fell asleep in the guest room, Ethan sat by the fire again, holding the mysterious snow globe. He turned it over and noticed faint writing etched into the glass. Greater than, love returns to those who still believe. The next morning, he made a phone call. A week later, Emma walked into the bakery to find cameras, lights, and a man in a suit talking to the owner. Her heart froze when she saw Ethan. What's going on? She stammered. Ethan smiled. I bought the bakery. Her eyes widened. You what? He continued, I'm turning it into a community branch of my company, a place where single parents can work, learn business skills, and still be home for dinner. You'll be the new manager. Tears filled Emma's eyes. Why would you do this for me? He looked at her with a softness she hadn't seen before. Because someone knocked on my door when I needed it most. Lily ran up and hugged him tightly. Does that mean we'll see you again, Mr. Ethan? He knelt, smiling. Every Christmas. And maybe a few times in between.